Start in Chicago, the Windy City, and let the wind blow north for 300 miles, with nothing in the way but the expanse of water known as Lake Michigan. By the time that wind and those waves hit Escanaba on the northwest shore, you've got a beast on your hands. A beast that has canceled Day 2 competition in the Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year tournament, and now postpones Day 3. With 50 anxious anglers on dry land, wondering what their fate will be.
I mean, these fish have just gotten to rest. I'm ready for it to be over with, without a doubt.
No one is more anxious than Greg Hackney, who came here with the lead and saw it shrink on Day 1. This goal he's been striving for all season.
I'm only concerned with my performance, because that's all that matters.
Striving for more than a decade, will all come down to one final day to hold off the advancing competition.
Look at that big Escanaba pig!
In hopes of holding the trophy. One day left in the season, one last shot. A chance to go into the history books, a shot at what some say is the greatest trophy in the sport of bass fishing, Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. Welcome to the Toyota Bassmaster Studios. Tommy Sanders here with Mark Zoner. Our coverage begins at this final day made so stressful, made so much more complicated by the weather situation.
Definitely has, and really the number one dynamic right now in Escanaba is this time of year, these fish move by the hour. Well, they've had a day to move, and these guys are being iced down thinking about it. And trust me, one of our anglers will get affected from that right there.
We have spent much of our time, all of our time, concentrating on the 4 guys with the best shot at this trophy. One of them, Jacob Powroznik, a superstar in his first year with the Bassmaster Elite Series, had a fantastic day.
Absolutely did, and he was very realistic coming into this event, saying, well, I got a shot if the other guys struggled. He did his job catching over 24 pounds of smallmouth.
Had very much a confident situation going all day long. He knew he's got a shot at this thing at the end of the weigh-in on day number 1. Different story for our defending champion, Aaron Martins. Had a great practice, not the same story in this tournament.
This tournament set up perfect for Aaron Martins, but really of the top 4 we covered, he struggled in a big way on day number 1.
In practice, the drop shot was dominant. I mean, I was trying to shake him off there, just all swallowing it, and that's just, I caught him too good. And those fish, I know I had some of them bite today, and I just could not get a hook in them. But I think with the conditions changing and the fish being caught, I did catch some of my good fish on a reaction bait. I only threw it probably 1/3 a day. I should have thrown it half a day. That little difference made a big difference in the weight.
Not a good enough day to maintain his position. Drops into 3rd place, moving into 2nd place. A man who's been disappointed in this event before, Todd Faircloth.
Todd Faircloth on the first day of competition with an enormous bag of smallmouth, over 20 pounds, and he was on literally hundreds of bass. Caught them all day long, but the one thing about Faircloth, he is the most susceptible to the wind, fishing very near the main lake. Todd Faircloth on a big school of bass, but will weather hurt him?
Told us he was totally committed. He has no plan B. He's got to stay with that group of fish. Weather may come and go, but he's going there. Of course, all eyes on this man, the man with the lead coming into this event, Greg Hackney. His day 1, mixed results.
It definitely was. Caught over 18 pounds of bass. And the other thing about it is only catching 18 pounds of bass, it's definitely left the door open. And Hackney will tell you, this tournament is far from over. He has a lot of work yet to get done.
It's going right down to the wire, you know. It ain't gonna be no gimme, which I knew it wouldn't. You know, you always want to just roll out there and pull up on the glory hole, but I never found a glory hole. And I knew that. I was like, you're gonna have to fish. You're gonna have to beat them out.
You listen to his words there. As you say, look at him on stage. He is not comfortable in this position.
Very, very easy person to read. Not very happy, very stressed out. And the other side of it is he knows he has totally left the door open for Faircloth right now.
All of that stress for Hackney and all these other anglers, they're sitting, waiting on the weather. Talk about not being in control. That's the definition of running a tournament like this. For a little more insight into this, let's take a look at our tournament director, Trip Weldon. He's been going through it this week. Here's what he had to say.
The lay of the land, we're on the northern end of Green Bay. And the winds, predominant winds since yesterday, all night long, 15 to 25 knots with higher gusts are coming south-southwest, which blows right up the gut. It's challenging. This is a great area, phenomenal fishing, but I think Dave Mercer said it last night, nature protects these fish. Either it's frozen, you can't get out there, or the wind protects them 2 or 3 days a week. In this case, 2 days in a row. So I don't know. It's challenging from a tournament official standpoint. I will say that.
You need a word that's a little stronger than challenging. This is just almost impossible.
Trip Weldon is in a complete lose-lose situation 100%, because if they go out, somebody gets hurt, it's his fault. If they don't go out, well, we could all gone out there. It was fine. Here's the thing. If you don't want to deal with weather and the waves, don't go fish the Great Lakes, because this time of year it happens all the time. It's like saying, I don't want to go to a football game at Lambeau in December because it might get cold. Well, you know what? It's going to. But the thing is, that call right there, it's 100% the right call.
Yeah, Dave Mercer, another guy who's a Great Lakes enthusiast, a Great Lakes knowledgeable guy, out on the water right now to tell us the very latest on how the weather has changed this tournament.
All right, so we're out here in the middle of the lake in a walleye boat, and you can see from the run out, I mean, it is pretty bumpy out here. So day number 2, take number 2, has officially been canceled. We're gonna try to get back out here tomorrow, but we're in a big giant walleye boat bouncing around out here. Our anglers are fishing out of bass boats. Now, you look at the history of a bass boat, I mean, basically designed to draft shallow water and fish in swamps. You can get through this in a bass boat, but safety is the #1 concern. Even though that the wind has dissipated quite a bit here today, you gotta remember, we have residual rollers on this lake, and they're coming all the way from Chicago. So, for the 2nd day in a row, Bassmaster Elite Series has been postponed. Give it another shot tomorrow.
Thank you, Dave Mercer. So what has happened is we have fished for 1 day, the Thursday of this tournament. We have 1 set of catches in the books, scheduled for 3 days, and then we were weathered out for 3 solid days. But finally, on day number 4 now, the weather's changed. The wind now from a northerly direction instead of the problematic southerly direction. It's a little bit cold, there's a little bit of wind, but it's the right kind of wind. Guess what? These guys are gonna fish, so it's all coming down to 1 final day with Greg Hackney in the lead, the Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. All of the anglers very, very anxious to get back out on the water. They did not like sitting around for 3 days, but most of them would agree it was the right decision.
I hate that it was canceled, but you know, honestly, I do think it was the best call. I mean, because today everybody will be able to fish, and if we'd have went those other days, you know, it was gonna wad everybody up, and you know, people wouldn't be able to go to where they practice. So it's just a lot fairer that we waited and went to the day for everybody. There ain't been any locals out there fishing. It ain't like one of them places where we cancel and there's a big group fishing, you know, because I don't think very many people here fish for bass, period. So, I mean, these fish have just gotten to rest. You would think, in theory, that would make fishing better. With that fall weather, you know, these fish are transitioning, so there's a chance they've moved around. So, I mean, the only way is to tell where they are is to go fishing and see.
Something a little bit different this morning. Greg Hackney ran 12 miles on day number 1, which was, correct me if I'm wrong, Tommy Sanders, 4 days ago.
Yeah, seems like, or longer. But
exactly
yeah.
right. Greg Hackney going to start right around the corner, only about a quarter mile away at most, starting off early with a keeper. And the biggest difference this morning, the water temp has dropped literally 6 degrees. There will be big changes, and, well, Hackney basically hooking everything this morning.
Not as big as I thought, but I guess it's a start. Dang, it looked big in that water. You know what the problem is? Can you pull that out? Is that legal? It's stuck in my hand.
Is it in your hand?
Well, I mean, it is to the point where I can't move. I guess I'll put the fish on the floor. Oh, I'm scared it's fixing to get in there.
I mean, if it was medically necessary, I probably.
Well, you know it was. That's the reason I didn't catch him with my right hand. That bait was stuck in my hand. I had to catch him with my left.
Greg Hackney with 1 keeper in the boat. That's a start for what may be the most important day of his entire fishing life, his quest to win Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. A long way to go before he gets there, and it's been a long quest for this one important award.
I had a dream that they canceled all the days, and we got to go out 3 hours, and I did not. And all I had to catch was 1, and I didn't catch one. Crushed me. I woke up the next morning, I'm like, well, that's freaky, you know. You think this ain't on my mind, this whole Angler of the Year deal? I think about Angler of the Year 24/7.
The 2014 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship is brought to you by Humminbird, Mercury, Minn Kota, and by Triton Boats.
Final day of 2014 Bassmaster Elite Series. This is the most important event at the end of the year. Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year.
You hold on 1 second. We want to see all your prize catches. Tweet us your catch. Hashtag Big Catch. Christina Danaher from New Hampshire. We want to see them all.
Very, very impressive. Let's take a look at what happened. We've only fished 1 day. We were scheduled for 3 days. Now we're going to wrap it up on this one final day. After day one, it was Greg Hackney still in the lead, but his lead had shrunk from 15 to 10 points. And here's the man who took over second place, Todd Faircloth.
Todd Faircloth, high risk and high reward, making a very long run, about 25 miles, fishing the east side of the point of Big Bay Danac. Very exposed to wind throughout the last 4 days, to say the least. The one thing that has to be on your mind after not seeing this area, are they still home?
Yeah, here we are. You know, this is the last day of the year. We've been canceled the last 3 days, and we're finally getting to come out here today. And weather's nice. We made it over here to where I caught them all Thursday, and hopefully we can just pick up from where we left off Thursday. I feel like the potential's here for me to catch a big bag, and hopefully we can get it done. The thing is, you know, we've been off for 3 days now, and a lot of things can change, you know, in 3 days out here on the water. This fish can change, and we might have to adjust, but hopefully not. Hopefully it'll be simple, but no pressure.
Faircloth definitely been in this spot before, back in 2008 against Kevin Van Dam. Lost the title in the final tournament of the year. From Faircloth, we're going to jump back into Little Bay Danac, and Aaron Martin's been living on one spot really this entire tournament, and he'll tell you the importance of winning Angler of the Year.
You know, growing up fishing, and I always thought AOI was by far the biggest prize you get. You know, before I even got AOI, I always wanted AOI. And I think a lot of these anglers that haven't got it, they really want AOI, probably even more than the Classic. It shows consistency, but it shows the kind of fisherman you are. A lot of times it can be 1 day, a wrong decision is what's going to cost you. That's how fragile it is. Going and starting here and not starting here, you can end up in 30th instead of first. It's so fragile, it's unreal. Nice one. It's like a 4-pounder. Almost swallowed it. It's a good start, I guess. Not what we're looking for, but better than last the first day. Happened much earlier, but it's actually not what we're looking for, but it's a nice one. It's probably 3, maybe 3.5. I want bigger. We need 5s and 6s today to have a chance.
Defending Angler of the Year champion Aaron Martins. He's got a 19-point deficit to deal with here. Meanwhile, back over to Todd Faircloth. Second place, 10-point deficit here, but he's beginning to see some disturbing things about his spot.
Like we may have to do something different. It's crazy how there can be, I mean, there were literally hundreds of fish here the other day. I've been fishing here for long enough, I should have had a bite by now. The fish have changed. Something's happened between Thursday and today.
Well, that is one of the problems of Todd Faircloth's area. Up in the bays, they're more resident. They don't move as much, but out near the main lake, they could be here today and gone tomorrow.
Well, another one of the big four, the 4 anglers with the shot at winning Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year, is this man, our newly crowned Rookie of the Year. Jacob Powroznik had a great day one in this tournament. He has had a great 2014, highlighted by that win at Toledo Bend. And like Todd Faircloth, his only stumble, his only miscut at Lake Dardanelle.
And Jacob Powroznik is far from being a rookie. A very accomplished career over on the FLW Tour. If you look at his season, it shows how versatile, how consistent he really is. But definitely the crown jewel this season was at Toledo Bend.
Toledo Bend, he certainly made a big change in the final day and got it done. And hey, he's had a great day one here and just continuing on.
And interesting, a lot of these smallmouth that you're seeing Powroznik catch, he said he visibly got to look at these fish in practice when it was calm. He said, I know where they're at, they're swimming there, I just need to go catch them. And the great thing is, he is not only catching quantity, he is catching quality in a big way.
Look at this, is a big one. You just gotta love them. Hey there, buddy. Getting better. I mean, you just gotta love them. I mean, daggone. I mean, something that pulls that hard and you're freezing cold and they're up there in 4 foot of water biting. It just don't get no better than that.
You could really see the environment here, the different environment where Powroznik's catching. A lot of rivers dump in there, color the water up, and it seems like those fish have held. Well, looking at Todd Faircloth, he is done with his primary area that he literally spent the entire day one of competition on, actually running further out into the lake, trying to relocate that giant school that he had so much confidence in.
Again, Todd Faircloth in a position where he could win this thing. He's only 10 points back of our leader, Greg Hackney.
Start right there for Faircloth, but he will have a lot of work to do right now to catch Hackney.
All of our anglers, especially the top 4 that we're watching here, kind of knocking the cobwebs off after sitting on the bank for 3 days. It has been an eventful week in Escanaba, Michigan. We are a long way from crowning our Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. Plenty of fishing to come.
Hey. Look what I found, buddy.
Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year, important championship final day from Escanaba, Michigan. Used to be a big shipping center back in the day. A lot of iron ore from here on its way down to Detroit. Today, we're concerned with the fishing.
Exactly, and like Todd Faircloth, Aaron Martens, we knew this was going to happen. The weather system that pushed through was going to change a lot of these schools of fish. And Aaron Martens, he loves cats, but this morning, he's got his mind on something way different.
When I found these fish the other day, there was some mergansers, there was everything. Mergansers, there was gulls and cormorants and this on this flat, and they're all kind of like, you could tell they were all excited. Birds are long distance sonar, that's what they are. Long distance eyes, whatever you want to call them. Gotta be right here. This is right. This is right. This should be. They should be right here. Still not a real big one, but it's a nice one. Come in. I hate to do it, but I got to keep my gloves dry. It's 42 degrees out right now. Yeah, not what we're looking for, but it's better than nothing. It's skinny too, just not very big. I cut myself and stick him in there.
Aaron Martin's 2 fish now in the 3.5 to under 4 pound range. He's saying these are not the ones I want. Boy, fish size so critical right here. Take the case of Greg Hackney. He caught 18 pounds yesterday. If he just caught 16 pounds, not even a full fish, he would have lost his lead. So a 4 pounder, a 5 pounder is huge.
one bass in his live well right now, fishing right around the corner from our takeoff. He's going to go back to his day one area about 12 miles away, and there was not a lot of big fish here on the first day, but there was a lot of 3 to 3.5 pounders. Greg Hackney needs to put those in the live well, put them in the live well very fast. But if you look at Hackney's season as a whole, he wins at Cayuga, but the other two tournaments that he legitimately could have won was Table Rock and Dardanelle.
Third place in both.
Exactly right. Dardanelle was one we were going to hand him the trophy, but the saving grace was Lake Seminole, the first tournament of the year. Day one, he catches a couple pounds of bass. He's down in like 90th place. That's where he salvaged his season on day two with over 20 pounds.
Wouldn't be much farther into the season before Greg Hackney would be focused on this prize he's wanted so long.
I think, honestly, if you ask anybody in this group, it is the pinnacle of this sport. Yeah, the Classic, you want that too. Don't take anything from it. The Classic's a huge deal, but to beat this group all year long, it don't matter if I ever catch another one. You know what I'm saying? Like, to win this, it don't matter after that. I don't care. I mean, I feel like I have been there at the top, you know. Now I'm at the top right now, but it's a long week. I'm ready for it to be over with, you know. It's mistakenly slow out here today. Oh my gosh. Why does so much have to be on the line today? You know what I'm saying? Why do I do that to myself? I know if 4 more just like him, I'd be in better shape than I am right now.
You can see it's a different day right now for Greg Hackney. Number one, the stress is ratcheted up a little bit. And on day number one, Greg Hackney went through this area and caught piles of 3-pounders on the shallow crankbait. You're starting to see him slow down a little bit. And really, one of the unseen things on the Great Lakes, no matter where you're at, is how much current is out there. Okay, and these fish will follow the bait, not by the day, but literally by the hour. If you go swimming out there, you can go down 5 feet and feel that current push, and it will move bait around, it will move the smallmouth around. Greg Hackney finally relocating his school, and the number one key of his area was submerged grass. He said 10 miles one way, 10 miles the other way of this specific area was just sand.
You mentioned the stress level. He's got to catch some bigger fish here. He said, if I catch 18 on day one, I better catch 20 on day number 2. That fish is more in line with that kind of a total. Back to Todd Faircloth, who's finally getting a little something going at his newly relocated spot.
Well, we're catching a few finally, but we ain't catching the right one. I'm gonna try to finish off a limit here. We'll go back over there, work out the big ones first day, see if we can relocate them. There we go. And my
Interesting thing Faircloth said after practice. He said, I honestly think I'm on the biggest school of smallmouth I've ever been on in my entire life, largemouth or smallmouth. And after his 20-pound stringer on day one, he felt, I can do that, if not a lot better. He felt that there was a 25-pound bag out there, and that has not been the case this morning. Unlike Jacob Powroznik, probably of the 4 we're covering, the most dialed-in angler right now.
It's totally funny, you know, when it's cloudy, the smallmouth for some reason go deeper than they've been. When it's sunny, then they move up there and get up there on the you know, up on the flat part of these little points and stuff. So yeah, here in a little while, if they quit biting here, then I'm gonna go back over there where we caught them, you know, the first day when it was sunny. So see what happens. You just got to love them. Oh, look at that thing, got my pole bent like that. Now, he knows better than that. Don't you do that. Oh my gosh, dude. Dude, this is an absolute giant smallmouth. Hey. Look what I found, buddy. I can't even get up. Dude, that is a tank right there. Look at that big Escanaba pig. Ain't got a belly like me. Short and squatty. Let's see if we can get another one of them.
Oh, I hear that, dude. I'm going to tell you, on day number 1, he just gave us a taste of it. Jacob Powroznik right now giving us full Bluto on Little Bay Tanakh.
Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't these other 3 guys in our top 4 love to be having this kind of day that Powroznik has had on day 1 and now really getting into on day number 2. He's got a long way to go, and we've got a long way to go before we find our champion at this Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship.
The 2014 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship is brought to you by Nitro, Toyota, and by Berkeley.
Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship, and that's been the story. We were scheduled for 3 days of competition, but Lake Michigan not cooperative at all. For 3 days, these anglers have been sitting on the bank, and we're down to 2 days. This is the last one, the last chance to win this thing in a much more favorable weather condition, and that's the story, that shot right there.
And it's the last one of the entire season. The Evan Williams Bourbon shot of the day of the week.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Very good. Very well done. Well done. And well done. But Jacob Powroznik, one of our top 4, one of the guys with a chance at still winning this thing, and he has just been wearing them out for 2 fishing days.
Flawless, my friend, and very textbook. He's been throwing a drop shot, a green pumpkin tube, and a swim bait almost the entire week. And again, he visibly saw these fish in practice and said, man, they are the right ones, and there's a lot of them. But don't let me tell you about how he's catching. You know what I would like right now? I'd like a tip of the day of the year.
Here's Powroznik's tip of the week. When smallmouth fishing, you got to make sure your bait is always clean. You got to have a feel for any kind of like a little blade of grass, because they will not bite if you have any kind of grass or just something that's, it's just what I'm saying, you got to have a clean bait. So that's my tip of the week. I'm getting back to fishing. That's a little better one there, boys. Ladies and gentlemen. Golly, call me. Oh no, don't you do that. Come to Pappy, player.
I hate to say it, it is painfully obvious he is a Zona Show candidate guest.
Oh, gotta be. Absolutely. I cannot wait. Give me an advisory, a programming advisory on that. Meanwhile, back over to Aaron Martins. Aaron Martins, again, our returning champion from last year. In 2013, Aaron Martins won Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. He's had an outstanding and exemplary season this year, starting with 2 top 6s in the first 3 events.
What's been interesting is Martins will tell you there was no crazy high points, no crazy low points. He said there's just a year, not a lot of fireworks, but he was solid and consistent.
A great year. What a great career for this guy. 10 wins in his career and 2 Angler of the Year titles.
The only disappointment so far has been Escanaba. We looked at him to be by far the favorite here, and he said his practice, one of the best he's had in years, and so far that has not transpired yet.
Yeah. That was the fish. We're catching all these, I mean, they're nice fish, they're just not like the ones I've been catching. I was hoping I'd catch those 5s and 6s today. But these are nice ones. Unbelievable how light they're biting. That's a nice fish. We'll grab him. I'm ready. Try to keep my hands dry. These, I don't know, it might be 3.5. Whew, there, but that's good. I mean, we're getting some fish in the boat. Still, it's not getting me fired up yet. They're nice ones, but it's not for this place. I could have used a couple of those the first day. That would have been really good. Get stuck with 2 2-pounders. That was bad.
Well, Aaron Martens once again reflecting back on his day one shortcomings. Meanwhile, we head over to Todd Faircloth. Todd Faircloth had a great day number one, and head-to-head competition, him and Aaron Martens, nothing new.
I have a lot of respect for Aaron. He's probably the best finesse fisherman on tour. We actually, work together during tournaments, and bounce ideals off each other. We don't share spots with each other, but techniques, depth, lures, stuff like that. It's different techniques, but, about the same outcome. Butter.
Faircloth catching fish, but not the quality he was looking for on this final day. And Todd Faircloth will tell you he is still affected by that 2008 Angler of the Year race with Van Dam. He said that one honestly gutted him after it was over. And whether he wins it here or not, Todd Faircloth will hold a trophy. Back to Greg Hackney right now. He's getting bites. He's relocated that school he was on day number one, but still a lot of pressure to fill out that limit.
Oh no! Damn, he come off. Dang it. Terrible fishing right there. I'm still kind of surprised he come off. Because I know he had it down his throat. But like even every time I catch one, I look to see if it's got a partner. Never has a partner. Like the other day, there'd be 10, behind one. Today, it doesn't seem like that. Like when you catch one, the rest of his buddies ain't coming with him. Dang it, I think he spit it out. I thought he was on there and I went to pick it up and I felt it go dunk. I think that's when he spit it out.
Well, not catching the huge numbers that he was on day number one when he was throwing that shallow crankbait, but still catching the same size fish, all 3.5 pounders. Making that adjustment, going to finesse, has proved key for Greg Hackney.
Greg Hackney hasn't driven this title home just yet. Anything could happen. A big explosion on the part of Todd Faircloth, who just started 10 points back of Hackney on this final day. We have not settled this thing yet. One of the most important titles in the world of bass fishing. Consistency throughout the year. Going to have to be more than consistent on this final day if you want that trophy. We are back on Lake Michigan again, second time in 3 years for the Bassmaster Elite Series. A powerful place, to be sure. The smallmouth action here stands as evidence of that. And when you think of Michigan and fishing, well, you know that it's so much more than just Great Lakes action. In fact, there are over 11,000 inland lakes in the state and 36,000 miles of streams and rivers. They say that from anywhere in the state you can find water within 6 miles in any direction. Is it any wonder that fishing is so huge here? Escanaba, Michigan, Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship. Aaron Martens, our Angler of the Year from 2005 and last year, defending champion.
I think that was one right there. Biting funny again. Get your butt in here. Missed it the first time. Come back and get it. Not very big at all. I think he is a keeper at least. That gives me 5.
Definitely a frustrating tournament for Aaron Martens, catching a lot of fish, but they are not the ones he said he was catching in practice. And from there, oh no.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it right now.
Yeah.
This is my guy. Jacob Powroznik, why don't you do me a favor? Grab some wood, take a load off. Jacob Powroznik may not win Angler of the Year, but so far in Escanaba, he could do no wrong. Just look at that.
Oh my gosh. Dude, that's a big one. Stay on there. Stay on there. Stay on there. Stay on there. Gosh. Yes, baby. Yes, sir. Rebob.
I'm telling you, it's just good times in the boat for Jacob Powroznik. He's like that younger uncle that has a barbecue every Saturday. You just want to go hang out with them. In fact, he has them like 3 times a week from Good Times in Jacob Powroznik's boat.
He is providing the entertainment for us today, no doubt about that. Let's get back out to Todd Faircloth. Got to keep in touch with him. Started this day just 10 points behind Greg Hackney. Again, one big flurry. He's right in the middle of things.
To win AOI would really mean a lot to me. There's a lot of decisions that take course during the course of a year. And when you start adding up all those days and all those decisions that you make out there on the water, you know, and I can look back right now on a couple of days that really stand out to me that I wish I could have back, you know. I would have done some things differently and feel like the outcome might have been a little bit different. And I'm sure all the guys up there in the top feel the same way as I do, but to win this title, you almost have to have a perfect year. You can't lose fish, you can't make bad decisions, and you can't have anything unfortunate happen to you. So these guys are so good, they catch them every single day. To stay up there in the top, you know, is pretty gratifying to me, and hopefully we can get it done.
That's the problem with where Faircloth is fishing. Very susceptible to the waves, the bait leaving, and his big smallmouth following. And whether he wins this tournament or not and takes over this man for Angler of the Year, Greg Hackney, he felt that area was the area he could do it. Now over to Hackney, who's just had a strange day. Day number 1, he caught 40 to 50 bass. Everything was going okay. No giants. Today it's been a slow, painful grind, and really, Greg Hackney still feeling the stress to put this one away.
It just seems like I'm just killing time. It's just taking so long, you know. They're just sitting there. That's what the deal is. That water, I guess, been just enough front. I mean, all I'm doing, I just noodled right around. We've been in the same place, you know. Yeah, they're just sitting down there on the bottom tight today, and they won't come up chase. I don't know. He's dark colored, but I don't know. He don't look that good. I don't think he is. You know what? He's better than I thought.
Well, no giants for Greg Hackney so far, and you can kind of tell Greg Hackney, a ball of stress and energy on this final day. Will these small upgrades, these small culls, be enough?
All of these anglers have been through it this week. They expected 3 days of fishing. They only got 2. They spent 3 days on the bank, just stress after stress. Now they're at the end of their journey. Greg Hackney has been focusing on this final outcome for a long, long time. It's what he caught today, enough to get him there. Our weigh-in is coming up next.
The 2014 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship is brought to you by Evan Williams Bourbon, Yamaha, Skeeter Boats, and by Bass Pro Shops.
The time has finally come. We're about to crown our Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. Patience these guys have had to exhibit this week. I mean, they sit on the bank for 3 days. They were going to fish for 3 days, and they only get 2. Hey, it would be remiss not to mention Mark Davis, who dominated this race. The first third of the season also brought in our Carhartt Big Bass today, 6 pounds and 4 ounces. Congratulations to the veteran from Arkansas. Jacob Powroznik, maybe he had a little too far to go. He started about 41 points back of our leader, Greg Hackney, but boy, did he put on a show here. The dominating figure catching these smallmouth at Escanaba.
Exactly. Jacob Powroznik will go on to win the Bassmaster Elite Series Rookie of the Year. Did not get the job done for the Angler of the Year title, but I can promise you that is not the last time you will see Jacob Powroznik from there. It's time to look at our defending Angler of the Year champion, Aaron Martins.
Get loud for your reigning and defending Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year.
With that total, Aaron Martin's not going to be able to repeat his Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. Todd Faircloth, our closest pursuer to the leader when we started today.
T-O-double-D, Todd Faircloth. Todd Faircloth at 20 pounds, 15 ounces. He's got a 5-fish limit, looking for 13 even to take the AOY lead. 15 pounds, 3 ounces. Get loud for Todd Faircloth. An incredible season here on the Bassmaster Elite Series.
Todd Faircloth taking over the lead. 1 man left to beat, but he has been the man for the second half of this season. Here he is, Greg Hackney.
From Gonzales, Louisiana, the Hack Attack, Greg Hackney. Todd gets side by side with Greg Hackney. Greg Hackney had 18 pounds even going into this deal. 5 fish. Looking for 8 pounds, 6 ounces, 17 pounds, 2 ounces. Greg Hackney has done it. He had his eye on the prize, and now he has officially become your 2014 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. Get loud for the Hack Attack, Greg Hackney. Greg Hackney. First of all, Hack, I gotta ask you, before we make this official and bring this trophy out, I gotta believe you have proven to this world that you are officially one of the most mentally strong pros to ever compete. 3 days of pacing back and forth in that hotel room, waiting to go out and get this done. Tell me what's going through your mind.
Probably the worst I felt the whole week is like when I checked in this afternoon. Golly, I could feel my heart beating. I thought it was gonna come out of my chest. You know what? I don't know what to say. You know, I just been very blessed.
For the rest of your life, you can say you play this game, but nobody played it better than you in 2014. Congratulations, my friend. Let's make this official. We'll bring out our defending Angler of the Year, Aaron Martins, to do the handoff and hold it high over your head. Your 2014 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. Lifelong dreams do come true. Greg Hackney.
Greg Hackney caught up in the moment, a little bit overwhelmed, and why not? Biggest prize in the sport of bass fishing. Some people say he's now in the history books. What a great story he is. People say, you know, well, he's had it easy because he's such a great skilled angler, but it hasn't come easy on the Bassmaster side for him.
Guy's had a great career, very consistent, and we've covered some very special years here in the Bassmaster Elite Series studio. Skeet Reese, Kevin Van Dam. Hackney had one of those years this season. And the other side of it is, what you see is what you get with this guy. He wears his emotions and his heart on his sleeve. And I always watch the other anglers when somebody wins a title. And they were happy for this guy for the simple point, he does it the right way, and he deserved it.
A decade ago, he was a freshman out here, came out here, almost won Angler of the Year that year, beaten out by Gerald Swindle a whole decade in the interim. That's a lot of persistence to come to this point today.
Well, we definitely have waited a few years to see him hoist that trophy, but eventually you knew it was going to happen.
You knew it was going to happen. He certainly deserves it. Hats off one more time to Greg Hackney. Mark Zona, that ends our season 2014. We are done. We won't see you again till the Bassmaster Classic 2015, Lake Hartwell in South Carolina. I'll see you then, too. Thank you so much.
Greg Hackney, your 2014 Toyota